game franchises combine horror, philosophy, and the pleasures of shooting virtual mutant freaks in the head, as well as Bioshock. From the moment it was released in August of 2007, Bioshock blew critics and gamers away with its claustrophobic atmosphere and great story that forced players to wrestle with difficult moral questions. Many Bioshock fans probably already know that the game was inspired by, and in some ways a response to, the works of Ayn Rand and her philosophy of objectivism. But you may not know just how deeply the connection goes. Ken Levine, the creative director of Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite, doesn't view the game as simply a critique of Rand, but rather about his uncomfortableness with certainty. He added to this by saying, "The interesting thing about it was, when Rand writes a book like Atlas Shrugged, she can populate it with people who are perfect avatars of her vision. But we wanted to tell a story about a world where there are very imperfect creatures under the rigors of this ideology, and what would actually happen. To me, it's a good way to express that doubt I have about ideologies, to set that bar where the ideology really has the opportunity to flourish and see what happens." Moving beyond the initial inspiration for the game, there's a few other interesting nods to Ayn Rand's work to be found. For one thing, the main character of Bioshock 1, Jack, has a fake passport that gives his last name as Wynand. This directly references one of Rand's most famous novels, The Fountainhead, which features a character named Gale Wynand as the main character. Another similarity to her work is seen in the many Who is Atlas posters found throughout Rapture. This is a reference to the often repeated opening line of Ayn Rand's fourth novel, Atlas Shrugged. Who is John Galt? In the novel, John Galt has a fairly similar goal to that of Andrew Ryan, to create a capitalist utopia, although Galt's character had a drastically different fate in the book than that of Andrew Ryan. The controversial work of Ayn Rand is not the only place that Irrational Games, or 2K Boston as it was known back in 2007, took inspiration from. For instance, one of the tombstones found in Arcadia, which reads John Maynard Keynes, son of Adam and Ada Smith, is actually a reference to two famous British economists, John Maynard Keynes and Adam Smith. Keynes is known as one of the most influential economists of the 20th century and revolutionized the way we view macroeconomics. The other guy, Adam Smith, is known for creating the foundation of the free market capitalist system. Both, obviously, would have had a place in the heart of Andrew Ryan. Well, except for Keynes' huge love of government spending in times of recession, I don't think that's something Ryan would have envisioned in his libertarian dream state. The character Diane McClintock has a fairly tragic story arc hinted at in the game. She started out as Andrew Ryan's girlfriend and biggest supporter before finally becoming disillusioned with him and fighting back, leading to her death. Interestingly, her character is thought to be inspired by two different women. Her look is based on a mugshot of Tanya Williams, a woman who worked at a club in San Francisco and was arrested in 1942 for indecent exposure. Diane McClintock's last name is thought to be a reference to the Nobel Prize-winning scientist Barbara McClintock. Barbara specialized in genetics, a field of science that is, of course, hugely important to the plot of Bioshock. Another character whose name is thought to be a reference to a real-world figure is the insanely creepy artist, poet, and sculptor Sander Cohen, who is partially inspired by the artist and entertainer George M. Cohen, a man once known as the King of Broadway. Though the developers have stated that the painter Salvador Dali was also an inspiration behind Sander Cohen's look and personality, this is evident as well. Both men had an intense dislike of critics and rocked a very brave mustache. Lady Smith is one of the scarier characters seen in the original Bioshock, so it only feels right that she is named after a deadly weapon, Smith & Wesson's Lady Smith revolver. Incidentally, a weapon she's also seen carrying in the first game. Speaking of Lady Smith, remember that random mugshot of Tanya Williams? Well, it turns out that very same image was also modified and used as the original Lady Smith concept art. Irrational has never really given a definitive reason for why this one mugshot proved to be so influential, so if you can solve this mystery, please leave a comment and let us know. We hope you enjoyed your first episode of Bioshock Hidden History. If you'd like more episodes on Bioshock, please like and share this video so we have the opportunity to make more. Oh, and hey, do you feel like fighting about politics in the comment section after all that Ayn Rand talk? Well, yeah, maybe don't do that. I mean, just saying. I mean, but if you want to discuss whether or not, Keynesian economics actually works, I mean, I'm not going to stop you. You could go ahead and argue till you're blue in the face. You thought you knew Bioshock, but hopefully you've learned a thing or two more. Do you know any other historical or literary references we didn't cover here? Share them in the comments section below, and we might include it in a future episode. If you like Hidden History, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. I'm really good at doing voiceovers, as you can hear here. Many Bioshock... Welcome to Bioshock, where you can get a power converter and a steam gauge assembly for just a low price of $10.99.